Hey there, brother. So, no, I don't. And I've said that the whole time. And I don't like speaking about this because I think it just confuses most people. And there's a dark agenda going on, and my concern is just helping human beings understand that. But the whole, I've seen the shot as the abomination of desolation. And I don't think that's an easy concept for a lot of folks unless you're a Bible study to understand. Maybe you understand the abomination of desolation. But no, I've never viewed it as the mark. And in fact, I think that it was a great fallacy, accidentally, of people to refer to it as the mark. Because then what has happened is a lot of believers felt relaxed. They felt like they passed the test. They felt like they missed that mark. They let their guard down, and then they have inadvertently accepted, the real ID. So this whole agenda. So what I do, just so people know my point of view, what I have done is I have researched the cycles, the prophetic cycles that have been happening through the past 2,000 years. And really even before that, but the past 2,000 years, the cycles of revelation, because they are there. And what I have found is that those cycles repeat. Small cycles, big cycles, and then a grand cycle. So we know that the mark ties into the money system. Okay? And through the years, what I've discovered is we've got this. Don't mind the pain on my hands. Okay? And I've gone over this before, but this is a huge indication of what was done and what will be done. So what federal means, the etymology of federal is a covenant with God, a covenant between God and man. Do you guys wonder why they named your overarching governing body federal? A covenant between God and man. That's what it means. Reserve is to set aside, right? To set something aside. Note is a mark of authority, particularly within contracts and covenants. So what we have right at the top of our money is a covenant between God and man set aside to mark, right? For a future mark. This is actually a contract. It's 6 inches long and it's 6.6 centimeters wide. It's tied to our name. Okay, so this whole system operates based upon our birth certificate, which is on bond paper because it's bondage. The soul, the birth certificate that is taken at our birth with our little soul print on it, that goes to Rome, and you're never going to see it again. So they're holding the bondage paper agreement with our soul. It's all esoteric. But that birth certificate contains our name, which they've corporatized. They've rendered us dead at birth. Okay? Think of what Jesus said, the dead in Christ shall rise first. And that name is tied to our social security number. Our social security number is tying us to a national trust. It goes to the Federal Reserve. But what people don't understand is all of your national banks are tying into the Bank of International Settlements, which is a global bank. You guys want to know who runs the world? You should really look into the board members. But the Federal Reserve Bank, they copy the 12 tribes of Israel. They have 12 districts. On this money, there's 2 seals. This means something, okay? This is death. This is life. This is under the Federal Reserve, which if we stay in the system, if we don't correct our status and take our exodus, we stay in this side of death. This side is life under the U.S. Treasury. So what I'm trying to say is this system is going to lead us into that final mark. That's my belief. And everything else that's happening certainly ties into that. Absolutely. Intrabody nano network. Okay, that's what the shot is. It's nanotechnology. But it's not like the final step, right? There has to come this pushing people into a digital realm. All of your life activity has to be pushed into a digital realm. They're working on this now, which is what the real ID ties into. It's part of it. Then a digital currency system is going to come. And ultimately, in order to participate in that digital currency system, in order to even access the Internet of Things, you're going to have to submit your digital ID. And I anticipate that to begin with an uploading of your real ID, since you're already contracting into a system of surveillance with that ID. And once folks are in the digital currency, accepted the digital currency, already have their body wired for the Internet of Bodies, they're going to use the digital currency and the economy and the system of commerce, which is exactly what they did to suck people into this. And that's when the requirement of biotechnology is going to become a necessity. With a quantum financial system, it will inevitably become a necessity to have biotechnology. And that biotechnology is that final step that the previous steps were a requirement for. So I hope that makes sense. I kind of had to rush through this. So that's my point of view. This in itself is a foreshadowing, right? And this in itself, I just want to say, this does control our thoughts and our actions. Every single day we are forsaking our free will and our life energy to go get this. We have set aside, it's upside down, we have set aside the covenant with God, right? With Jesus, that all of our debts would be forgiven, just so we could contract ourselves into another system of bondage and indebtedness.